Good morning and welcome to the Dr. Sandra Leyendecker Dog Park. My name is Alberto Torres and I'm your council member for District 4. It's a pleasure to be here this morning and serve as your master of ceremonies for our annual proclamation for animal cruelty awareness. At this time, I'd like to please ask everyone to rise for the presentation of colors by the Laredo Police Department Honor Guard. Not here? Not here? Okay, we'll proceed with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Before we continue with this morning's proclamation, I'd like to recognize some dignitaries and honored guests that are joining us this morning. I'd like to start with our Mayor of the City of Laredo, the Honorable Dr. Victor Trevino. Council members joining us this morning from District 2, the Honorable Daisy Campos Rodriguez. From District 3, the Honorable Melissa Cigarroa. Representing United States Representative from Texas District 28, the Honorable Henry Cuellar, we have Melissa Peña. Representing Texas State Representative House District 42, the Honorable Richard Peña Raymond, Graciela Villarreal. Representing State Representative for House District 80, the Honorable Tracy King, Lupita Cepeda. Joining us this morning as well is the Webb County Judge, the Honorable Tano Tijerina. Representing the Webb County District Attorney, the Honorable Isidro Chilo Laniz, we have Assistant DA Karina Rios. Representing the Webb County Sheriff, the Honorable Martin Cuellar, we have Assistant Chief Rick Rodriguez. Justice of the Peace for Precinct 1, Place 1, the Honorable Juan Paz. Constable for Precinct 1, the Honorable Guadalupe Gomez. Constable for Precinct 2, the Honorable Miguel Mike Villarreal. President for Laredo College, Dr. Minita Ramirez. President of the Board for Laredo College, the Honorable Lupita Cepeda. Representing Constable for Precinct 4, the Honorable Harold DeValley, we have Chief Hera Ramirez. Laredo Independent School District Police Chief Doreen Hell. I'm almost done, I promise. UISD Police Chief Aaron Salazar. Representing our City Management, Assistant City Manager Ria Sulmia. Our City Secretary, Mr. Jose Valdez. Animal Services Director, Ms. Karina Lizondo. We also recognize Captain Palacios, Game Warden for Texas Parks and Wildlife. Thank you for being here this morning. We couldn't have this event if it wouldn't be for Dr. Sandra Leyendecker, the Dr. Sandra Leyendecker Park, so Dr. Sandra Leyendecker. And someone who plays a very important role in what we do to combat animal cruelty and neglect is representing Crime Stoppers, their Executive Director, Colleen Rodriguez. If I missed anyone, I apologize. That's the list that was given to me. But thank you all for being here. Before I pass it on to give some remarks to our mayor, I'd like to mention how important it is for us to have this event and bring attention to everything we've done these last few years to combat animal cruelty and neglect. If it wouldn't be for the many efforts of different leaders that are joining us this morning, from our county judge to our district attorney, our city management team, Karina, who's done a fabulous job and has worked diligently to address the many needs that the Animal Care Services Department has had, we wouldn't be here today with a task force that has brought many law enforcement agencies together to ensure that we fight animal cruelty and neglect, and most importantly, we educate the public on being responsible pet owners. But additionally, the animal cruelty and neglect registry that really put Laredo on the map becoming the first city in the entire state of Texas to have a registry that would, very similar to a sex offender registry, register those offenders that commit crimes against animals, have really put Laredo as the number one city to combat animal cruelty and neglect. And I'm proud to say that through the many efforts of all of us here today, and we see that with everyone coming together this morning, how we're working together to ensure that we protect our four-legged friends. Before I pass it on to the mayor, I did see, do want to recognize Chief Enedina Martinez representing the Chief of Police and the Police Department. Thank you for being here. This time I call on our mayor, Dr. Victor Trevino, for some remarks and for the proclamation that I'm thinking both the judge and the mayor would do together.
Good morning, and thank you everyone for being here in this important event. Dr. Victor Trevino, Mayor for the City of Laredo. Today we're raising awareness and promoting education on animal abuse and cruelty. There was a time when it was acceptable to kick a dog or a pet and unreasonably chained to a fence or a post. But this is not acceptable, and it's against the law. This is why it's important to teach our youth that cruelty can lead to violence against animals, and raising awareness that can lead towards accepting or participating in other forms of cruelty, such as dog fighting, rooster fighting, and other forms of organized animal cruelty. So it is important to teach our youth and bring awareness to this type of behavior in our community. With that, we proceed for the proclamation. Okay, Judge. Let me read this. And then, Office of the Mayor, City of Laredo, Texas, proclamation, and
Webb County Judge, on behalf of Webb County Judge.
Animal Cruelty Awareness Month in Laredo, Texas. Whereas the City of Laredo has an interest in preventing cruelty to animals and enforcing animal cruelty laws.
Whereas Webb County and the City of Laredo is committed to preventing abuse and cruelty of animals in our community, as can be seen in our participation with the Laredo-Webb County Animal Cruelty Task Force. And
whereas the month of April has been designated by the American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals as Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Month. And
whereas the Webb County and the City of Laredo believes it is necessary to use our voices to advocate for the prevention of cruel treatment to innocent animals. And
whereas the City of Laredo is committed to enforcing existing animal cruelty laws. And
whereas the City of Laredo and Webb County wants the public to become more aware of the animal cruelty laws in the hopes to eliminating cruelty in all animals. And
whereas the City of Laredo believes that by working together with our community and sharing information on how to prevent, recognize, and report signs of animal abuse, we can help protect all animals from abuse and neglect. And
whereas the City of Laredo and Webb County and the Laredo Animal Care Services Department call upon all residents to report the abuse and cruelty of all animals to local authorities.
Now therefore, I, Dr. Victor Trevino,
and I, Donald Tiguerina, as your county judge,
by virtue of the authority vested in me as mayor of the City of Laredo, County of Webb, State of Texas,
do hereby proclaim the month of April 2022 as
Animal Cruelty Awareness Month in Laredo, Texas, and call upon all citizens to report the abuse and cruelty of animals to the City of Laredo Animal Care Services and the Laredo Police Department.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Judge, you want to say a few words? You're up next.
On behalf of myself and the Commissioner's Court, it is especially as I'm getting older, as everybody knows, I am a ranch boy. I live at the ranch and I have many animals. I think right now my biggest love are my chickens. I got a whole bunch of chickens. They're expensive. But you know, I've always had my dogs, my huachillos, my huachillas. That's what I call them. I've always had my horses and my. But as I'm getting older, I'm starting to notice a little bit more and more. I just can't even like. There's some times that I'm going through the feed on Facebook on all these reels, and to see some of these people laughing at some of the abuse that they're doing to dogs, like painting them with spray paint and whatever, they think that it's funny. It really sickens me to my core. And I do appreciate every single one of you all being here. Every law enforcement agency, it seems like it's here. All different types of department. Dr. Sandy Leyendecker herself, always an advocate and champion what is right for the animals. You know, they might not have a voice, but we are their voice. And if we don't stand up for them, nobody will. So I ask that you all continue being diligent, continue being the synergy of one, to be able to protect these beautiful animals that we have that we could call friends. God bless you guys, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge. I'd like to call on Dr. Sandra Leyendecker to say a few remarks. Doctor?
Thank, Hello, I'm Dr. Sandra Leyendecker. Thank you all very, very much for showing up. I see many of my patients here and clients as well. Thank you for your support. Both. I myself have a whole lot of chickens too. You know, those eggs are great, guys. I have just about had, if I don't have, almost every animal that you can think of, from raccoons to, I have a baby bobcat right now, which you can come see at my office, to dogs, cats, horses, cows, deer, exotics, you can see them. But anyway, I think that every month should be Animal Cruelty Awareness Month. I know April's important, but you know, we need to be aware at all times. Many citizens don't realize what cruelty consists of. Cruelty also consists of neglect, not feeding and watering your animals, not providing shelter. They don't have to be inside the house, but they do need to have shelter when it's hot, shelter when it's cold, especially from Laredo sun. I really, really hope that people in this community realize just how difficult it is to be in law enforcement. Law enforcement's your number one line of defense for animal cruelty and other things too. And it's very difficult because when you're doing your job and you're going after people that are doing the wrong thing, you become unpopular. And it's difficult, and I commend all of you in law enforcement and all the citizens of Laredo for doing such a wonderful job here today. And thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Doctor. At this time, we'd like to call on Karina Lizondo, Laredo Animal Care Services Director, for a few words.
Good morning, everyone. I want to thank every single one of you for being here. My heart is so happy to see so many faces, very familiar faces, new faces. Our family just keeps growing. And I say family because this is something that we need to fight together. And as Dr. Leyendecker noted, it is very difficult to stand up and do our jobs, especially when you're trying to fight a culture like Dr. Trevino mentioned. It was very acceptable. And just to put everything into perspective, 4 years ago, when Council Member Torres initiated, he has done many efforts, but one of the things that has made an impact tremendously in our community is it was a task force. Along with that, he noticed that we were not in compliance with, well, not me, but different administration, but with our board, with advisory board. By statute, it is required that every single city has this committee that looks out for the interest of the animals, besides the Animal Care Services Department. Along with that, the registry as well. And just a couple years ago, we went from 300 citations a year to over 1,200 citations. So, and with Dr. Leyendecker's support, we have arrested numerous individuals for animal cruelty. So it is a very challenging process because it requires to be bold, to stand up, and not to be lazy, obviously, because it's so easy to turn your back. But as Judge Tano Tijerina noted, if we do not stand for these animals, who will? And if it's not us, who? And if it's not now, when. So I thank you for you being here and to help us being part of this. And I wanted to thank the animal control officers. I know it's not an easy job, and it's very, very, very challenging. I never been afraid of animals until I started working here, because you start seeing the different behaviors, and it's very hard for us to. You cannot explain an animal that we're here to help, that we're going to make their life better. So their behavior, it tends to be a little bit aggressive, or they're scared. So that's when we came in. Compassion, it's our number one priority. We need to be compassionate. Also, I want to take this time to thank Graciela Villarreal. She is here on behalf of Representative Trace. I mean, Richard Raymond. I'm sorry, but she is a very active member of our volunteer program. She is diligently showing and very to our shelter almost every weekend with her team, Lulac La Flor. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for giving the city of Laredo additional hands to work with, and most importantly for your heart and your compassion towards your animals. And Chief Enid, thank you so much for answering my call. I'm sure a lot of people see my name, they're like, again. But just I want to commend Councilmember Torres, Councilmember Cigarroa, and everyone here present. The judge, thank you. My staff did listen to me this time. I was like, whatever you do, please do not put me to speak after Judge Tijerina. He's so amazing that he makes everyone not meet the standards. But thank you for being here. And Councilmember Torres, I don't know what we're gonna do when you term out. From the bottom of my heart, I wanna thank you for every single thing you have done for the shelter. Thank you so much for taking your constituents' complaints at heart, and I appreciate that. Just this weekend, one of the constituents reported some horses that went in terrible condition. The city of Laredo Animal Control, with the lead of Animal Control Officer Rafael Solis, were able to seize 4 malnourished horses, and they were in deplorable conditions. And it's a team effort with the cooperation of the sheriff department. Thank you, Mr. Rodriguez, for your assistance. We were able to transfer, because obviously the city of Laredo is not equipped to handle livestock. It's not a part of their jurisdiction. But this crime happened within city limits, so we were forced to, not forced, but we gladly attended to that call. With the cooperation of the sheriff department, we were able to transport the animals, and the rest is history, right? But we still need to get those parties involved. I make a call to the district attorney's office, please. It's a team effort. We can do our job, and we can have all the facts together in our investigation. And we pray that these cases do not end at an arrest. We need to impose the extent of the law and apply all sanctions possible to any type of crime, because it will not be tolerated. But with all with the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you all. Thank you to animal control officers for everything that you do. And thank you for everyone to being here. Thanks.
Well, I'm still here for 18 more months, okay? But I know that the council, with the mayor's leadership, along with the council members who are here today, will continue to set fighting for animal cruelty and our Animal Care Services Department as much as we've done for the last 6 years. Before we conclude and close today's ceremony, we do have a swearing in ceremony of some animal control officers that have been newly hired to perform animal control officer duties. So we'd ask those officers that need to be sworn in to please join us at the front. And I would like to call on Mr. Jose Valdez, our city secretary, to administer that oath of office to them. It was just perfect timing, and they wanted to take the opportunity to do that publicly here this morning. You good?
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the duties of the office of,
the duties of the office of
state your position,
Animal Control Officer
of the City of Laredo, Texas,
the City of Laredo, Texas,
and will to the best of my ability
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect,
protect
and defend the Constitution
and defend the Constitution
and the laws of the United States
and the laws of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state,
And I furthermore solemnly swear
and I furthermore solemnly swear
that I have not directly
that I have not directly
nor indirectly
nor indirectly
paid, offered, or promised to pay,
or promised to pay,
contributed, nor promised to contribute
nor promised to contribute
any money
any money
or thing of value,
or thing of value,
or promised any public office
or promised any public office
or employment
or employment
as a reward
as a reward
to secure my appointment
to secure my appointment
or confirmation thereof.
or confirmation thereof.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Thank you.
We congratulate each and every one of you, and we hope that you do your job diligently to help us continue the mission that all of us together have put a lot of focus and time into. So thank you very much for taking this job, and it's always been very difficult for us to recruit animal control officers. It's much more difficult to recruit kennel workers, because guess what kennel workers do? Clean after all these animals every day. But we thank you for undertaking this important task and for becoming members of the City of Laredo family. With that, we conclude this morning's ceremony. Please join us for some refreshments. Hopefully we get to beat the rain. That was our goal right now. And thank you all very much. We invite you to continue to support all the efforts that we put together as a family to help our four-legged friends. You have a great afternoon.